Hey there guys and gals, I'm sure if you're looking at this video specifically, you've probably come here from my FateForge unboxing with the world of Ayana, since I did that whole big old Kickstarter unboxing. And you saw that I didn't open the conditions deck because I wanted to show you guys all the cards separately so you know what you're buying if you want to buy this particular set of cards. And if you're a physical DM, obviously if you play online, this deck of cards probably isn't going to help you unless there's a PDF version. I don't know if there's a PDF version. I should have looked that up before I made this video, but I didn't. Sorry. Anyway, I'm going to pop this deck open and I'll show you what's inside. All right, first thing I'm going to say is box is super hard to open, but I didn't want to damage it because it's so well made. It took me forever to just pull out the cards. Oh, they're like tarot sized, I think. I think this is tarot sized. They have a cool, super cool back. There are 51 cards in this deck. Basically your general reminder card, like, nah, this is a thing that happens to your creatures. Be aware. Then you have blinded, charmed, deafened, dying, exhaustion, frightened, grappling, incapacitated, invisible, numb, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, possessed, prone, restrained, stunned, unconscious, wound, wound back, wound face, wound head, wound lower limb, wound torso, wound upper limb, blinded. Oh, I think it doubles actually. Yep, it's just two sets. One for you and one for your players. That's kind of cool, actually. Actually, that's very, very cool. But I'm going to go over the ones that are not native to 5e. Blinded makes sense. Charmed. Okay, deafened. Like I mentioned before, the way dying works... Oh, this is the 51st card. It's a specialty card. It makes sense. Dying works slightly differently in FateForge than it does in regular 5e, where there's more things that can happen. Instead of just critical fail, critical success, pass or fail, based on what you roll, some stuff can happen instead. One thing that I don't remember being a thing in regular 5e is that when you become stable in FateForge, you'll recover 1 HP after 1d4 hours. I don't remember that being a thing. Your exhaustion is the same. Frightened, same basically. Grappled, same. Incapacitated, same. Invisible, same. Numb is new. That's a new status effect. Your speed gets reduced. You have a -2 to AC. Oh, your strength and dexterity checks and strength and dexterity saving throws get a -2 as well. And you can't use reactions. Interesting. Paralyzed is, the same. Petrified, okay. Poisoned, pretty much the same. Possessed is new. We've got... The target loses control of their body, that makes sense. The creature that's possessing them can't be attacked. Interesting. Unless they're specifically getting their type targeted. Oh, wow. Oh, can't read your memories. Can't use your class features, but it uses the rest, or your proficiency, but it uses the rest of your stats. Interesting. Interesting. Prone, same, we're not going to worry about. Restrained, same. Stunned, not going to worry about. Unconscious, okay. You get to wounds. This is what I was talking about in the book, that they use these when you take a whole bunch of damage at once. But you also take a level of exhaustion when you take a wound. You have to dress your wound in order to heal normally, otherwise it hurts. I mean, it keeps doing whatever your wound gave you. And every creature has a wound threshold, which is when they take those, depending on what you're swinging at or what hit them. If you get a wound on your back, you become paralyzed. Oh no. And you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls based on strength or dex. Ooh. You get a wound on your face, you're blinded for 1 minute. And you have disadvantage on ability checks based on sight and attack rolls. Based on sight and on attack rolls, sorry. You get a wound in your head. You're stunned for 1d4. You can get a concussion? Wow. And until you return to your HP maximum, you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls based on intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. You get a wound on your lower limb. Your speed is halved, and you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls that require the use of the wounded limb. Oh no. You get a wound on your torso. You're winded as if you're poisoned. Oh, okay. So you have disadvantage on checks. And is it saves? No, I think it's just checks. Might be checks and saves. I should know that, but I don't. And you get a wound on your upper limb. You can't hold two-handed items, and you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls that require the use of that wounded limb. Actually, let's check poisoned. When you're winded, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, but not saves. So yeah, I thought this was going to have different cards, but it's actually got 2 of every card, so you can just hand them out to your players and be like, here you go. I mean, obviously the rules, the conditions card is separate, but there are 25 separate cards, 2 sets of 25. So there's one for the leader, what they call the GM or the DM, and one for the players. So you both know what's going on with that character. That's cool. These are going to come in handy. I can hand these out when I'm... I have the set from the Essentials kit as well, but it's always nice to have another set I can just hand to other players, because a lot of my players get crowd controlled, man. They get crowd controlled real hard. I have a lot of condition rings out at any given time. But yeah, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, sub. I'll see you guys and gals later in the next one. Remember that if you came here from my big FateForge unboxing, there's still one more video that needs to be made. I gotta make a video on the pawns. So I'll be doing that in a bit. This one will probably link to it in some way as well. And you can always go back to the original video and click the card that comes up when I start talking about the creatures box.